Summary of the case, 1924. R. V. Stone is a notable criminal case that took place in 1924. This case involved an individual named Stone, who was accused of the murder of his wife and brought to trial. The details of the case revolved around the events that occurred leading up to the alleged crime and the subsequent legal proceedings. The prosecution presented evidence to support their claim, while the defense countered with their arguments and evidence. The trial, presided over by a judge, sought to determine the guilt or innocence of Stone based on the available evidence. The prosecution relied heavily on circumstantial evidence to establish the guilt of the defendant, Mr. Stone. They argued that the accumulation of various circumstantial pieces of evidence, when considered together, pointed convincingly towards Mr. Stone's involvement in the alleged crime. The prosecution meticulously pieced together a timeline of events, witness testimonies, and physical evidence to support their case. They contended that the combination of these circumstantial elements created a compelling case against the defendant. A crucial aspect of prosecution's case is the presentation of motive and opportunity. They argued that Mr. Stone had a clear motive to commit the crime, citing personal animosity towards the victim and potential financial gain as driving factors. The prosecution further asserted that Mr. Stone had the opportunity to carry out the alleged offense as he was present at the scene when the crime occurred. They emphasized the importance of motive and opportunity in establishing guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. The defense hinged on 2 points: lack of evidence and violation of Mr. Stone's constitutional rights by the prosecution. The defense argued that there was not enough evidence presented by the prosecution to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the accused was guilty. They argued that the evidence provided was circumstantial and did not provide direct evidence of their client's involvement in the alleged crime. As evidence in support of this assertion, the defense highlighted inconsistencies in the witness testimony and questioned the validity of the physical evidence. Additionally, the defense asserted that the prosecution's actions violated the constitutional rights of their client. Their argument was that certain evidence was obtained unlawfully, such as through an illegal search and seizure, and therefore should not be admissible in court. Additionally, they contended that their client's right to fair trial was compromised due to media bias and prejudicial publicity surrounding the case. In the Lombard case of R. V. Stone in 1924, the court's ruling and reasoning had significant implications for criminal law and self-defense. The court carefully examined the circumstances surrounding the incident and the evidence presented. The central issue at hand was whether Mr. Stone's actions constituted self-defense, or if he had unlawfully taken the life of the victim. The court's ruling in the R. V. Stone case centered on reasonable belief. The judge instructed the jury to consider whether Mr. Stone had a genuine and reasonable belief that his life was in immediate danger, and if so, whether his actions were proportionate to the threat he perceived. The court found him guilty and he was sentenced to 7 years in jail.